Wrestling fans, are you ready? For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, let's get ready to rumble!
And now, please welcome at this time your hosts, Grant GSM Matthews and RJ Marceau. You're listening to the next era of wrestling radio. This is WrestleRant Radio.
What's going on, folks? Welcome back to WrestleRant Radio here today for June 26, 2025. And following a 2-week hiatus, Mr. Marceau is back. It's the biggest return in WrestleRant Radio history. What's going on, brother? How you been?
I'm doing good. You like that little elbow I threw before we even started? It's got a little UFC in my mind, so I threw a little jab just to get going.
Hey, got to get hyped. Is there a fight this weekend or no?
There is. Yeah, there's a big one this weekend.
Oh, who you got going over in the main event? I don't even know what the main event is.
It's Ilya Tapore versus Charles Oliveira for the lightweight title. I got Ilya. I mean, he's undefeated. I think he jumps up weight class, takes the lightweight strap, so I think he's going to get put over.
Very nice. I think he's going to get put over. Love the UFC talk. If anyone's got any UFC predictions or UFC questions for Mr. Marceau, ask him. I couldn't answer him last week. Everyone was asking Mr. Marceau, or asking me last week, Mr. Marceau, where he's at. We missed Mr. Marceau. Well, guess what? He's back this week. A lot to get into from a Stone Cold potential in-ring return. That was the talk this past week on Twitter and on social media. I'll ask Mr. Marceau about that. Some other stuff last week that I discussed that I want to kind of gauge his thoughts on. Some thoughts on Raw and Night of Champions predictions. Yes, the pay-per-view is still happening. It's going to be going on this weekend. They are on their way to Saudi Arabia. No, they were not stuck at the airport. I think they have like charter flights and stuff like that anyway, so I don't have to really worry about that shit. Saudi Arabia is a go. We talked the other day here on the stream I did about should it be canceled? Well, guess what? At this point, it doesn't fucking matter. They're still doing the show anyway. So hopefully it's a safe Saturday afternoon when they do the show in Jeddah, that being Night of Champions. We'll get to that a little bit later on. But biggest news of the day, last Thursday I said, it was 619 Day, so I said happy, Rey Mysterio Day, obviously Juneteenth as well. Today's also a holiday in my mind. It's Stitch Day, it's 626 Day, June 26. And literally moments before we went live here, while we're sitting in the green room, so to speak, I was looking through my phone. Disney just announced like 26 minutes ago, and I have to say this here, breaking news, Lilo and Stitch 2 in development, baby. We got it. We got Lilo and Stitch 2. Guess what? Mr. Marceau is happy as I am because he liked the movie. Anyone who didn't like the movie, fuck you. We need this movie made. I want Ruben in it. I want Gantu. I want Hamster Veal. I love that. The first movie was very good. Obviously, the original's the best. No shit. But like the live action movie that you have actually since seen, when I talked about it a few weeks ago, you had not seen it yet, but you have seen it since then, and you actually really liked the ending, didn't you?
I weeped like a maiden. I mean, I'm a little softy, so I thought, Nani going back to school because the parents wanted her to. Got a little emotional for me. I mean, it got me good. But yeah, I see it here, 626. Yeah.
It's fucking happening, baby. I told you, go see that movie, make that movie money so they can make it. All these complaints. Listen, I'm the first one to complain. Oh, Disney shouldn't be doing live action remakes. They shouldn't be doing sequels. I don't care. That was the old me. The new me wants Lilo and Stitch 2. I got that campaign going, and we made it.
Is the second one going to be about the first? Isn't there a second movie that like our animated movie? Is it going to be like based off that one, or?
I don't know. I mean, there's no details from what I understand, but I don't think so because they made a couple movies after that. The actual Lilo and Stitch 2, and I know all my Lilo and Stitch lore, but the actual second one is called Stitch Has a Glitch. I mean, it's not really that good. It's about like him malfunctioning, and it's basically the first one all over again, but not nearly as iconic. So I don't think they would do that. They have another sequel that they made before that one. It was kind of like it took place after, but they released it before. Very confusing. That's where all the other experiments come in, and that's where the show starts. Bring in the other experiments. They planted those little seeds. If you got that little Easter egg at the end of the movie there on the computer screen, they show the other experiments. The girl one is like super marketable. Angel, they have her everywhere if you go to like Disney and shit like that. But the other ones are from the show. The 627, Ruben, the fucking sandwich one. That's my boy.
Love Ruben. I was gonna say I was a Ruben guy.
Mr. Marceau, if I didn't already love you, love you even
I
more.
was
right
literally
now.
gonna say, what's the one that likes eating the sandwiches was my favorite.
Ruben, that's his name because he's a sandwich maker. It makes sense. Get him in live action, baby. I prayed for this and it happened. All right. That's what I'm going to say to start off the show. If you don't want Lilo and Stitch 2, well, guess what? Go see it anyway so we can get a 3, 4, and 5. I don't care what you think. I don't care. It's a good day. It's a happy day here on WrestleRant Radio. So we got a lot to get into. I'll address the chat in just a moment. New episodes of the show every single Thursday on WrestleRant.com, WrestleRantRadio.com, and all your favorite major podcast platforms for the audio version. So be sure to check that out as well. Shout out to the channel members, Alexis, Miss Maud Matthews, Dillon, DiGiacomo, Mrs. Renee, DJ Swerve1, at Swerve1 on the Instagram, Daniel Malcolm, who I know is here in the chat. I'll get to him in a second. At I'm Quarter on X, follow him there. Mr. Marceau himself, at RJ_Marceau on the Twitter machine. John Ritland, Real Honesty with John Ritland right here on YouTube. Richie, Red Planet Wrestling here on YouTube as well, and Average Grunt at The Average Grunt on X. Check out those fine folks. More information on WrestleRant All Access Pass channel memberships down below in the description box for shout-outs at the beginning, end, and every live stream, early and ad-free access to certain videos, and a whole lot more. Access to badges and emojis in the chat, so check that out down below. At the very least, just like the video if you're here live or after the fact, and subscribe. Hit the bell button to be notified every single time we go live and every single time new content is uploaded. So shout out to everyone joining us live here today. Very much appreciate it. Bunch of people in the chat. Buenos dias, WrestleRant from Fernando. What's going on, brother? Hope you're doing well. Daniel Malcolm, salute to you as well. Thanks for joining us. I think Johnny said konnichiwa. There you go. Konnichiwa to you as well, Johnny. I don't know if you're Japanese, but konnichiwa to you all the same. Fernando, I think Austin is the GOAT. If he does return, I pray that he returns. That's what he said. We'll get into it. Austin versus Randy Orton. Austin versus CM Punk. Austin versus Cena. Should all be possibilities. I'm going to say hard pass on that last one. That's probably not happening anyway. But we'll talk about Austin in a little bit. Millennial Noob, what's going on, brother? Said good morning, Graham and RJ. How you guys doing today? Doing well. Thanks for asking, Noob. What's going on, my man? Alexis saying, hey, y'all. Alexis, of course, joining us per usual. Johnny saying, Elena Black, Shayna Baszler, Dakota Kai, and Sarah Logan should appear in the women's gauntlet match. I'm going to say a hard no on Sarah Logan. I really don't care about that, but the other three are possibilities. For the men's gauntlet, you mentioned Braun Strowman. Interesting. Carlito, Eddie Thorpe, and Giovanni Vinci. Interesting. Okay. That's the men's gauntlet match coming up at All In. Chica Tormenta Forever, Captain Commenter said. That's a CMLL performer, I believe. Or maybe she's from AAA. I'm not sure. Johnny said Ilya by knockout and Pintoya by decision. That's what he's... Are those your predictions as well, or no?
I will concur, yes.
All right. I know you mentioned before. I forgot who you had going over there and by decision or knockout. Exactly by knockout in Pintoya? Is that how you pronounce it?
Pintoja, yeah.
Pintoja. I fucked that up last time, too. And he also asked, Johnny did, for RJ, this is what I'm saying. If you got any UFC questions, racing questions, someone asked me on the stream, I think it might have been you, Johnny, or someone else on Tuesday, do I plan on seeing, what's the movie? It's not called F1, or is it called F1?
Yes, it is.
It's called F1? Oh, I thought that was the name of like a tournament or something, or no?
That's what the Formula One's called, F1.
Formula One. Yeah, okay, that's what I'm thinking of. Someone asked if I was seeing it. I thought it was like an old movie that came out like fucking 15, 20 years ago. I had no idea. I haven't seen any marketing for it at all. I know I'm a bad person. But then I saw, Brad Pitt doing the rounds for it and stuff, and I like anything Brad Pitt's in. So anyway, Mr. Marceau is the guy to ask on that. We were just talking about that before we went live here, and Mr. Marceau wants to see it, so you can ask him his thoughts after he does. But he did ask, he said, thoughts on John Jones's late retirement. He should have retired last year.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's classic UFC, classic Dana White, basically saying, yeah, we're going to get this fight going. Supposed to be, give you some background since you're so lost.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be John Jones, who is the heavyweight champion, versus the interim champion, Tom Aspinall. Basically, John had been out for a while. He was injured, wanted to come back and fight Stipe Miocic, who was like older champion. Didn't really make sense.
Yeah.
It was more like add to his legacy. So the UFC is like, yeah, we'll do that. But then they made Aspinall the interim champion. Then he was like, well, I'm not interested in fighting him. I want to fight other people, basically running from him. Then he was like, "Oh, I want fuck you money if I'm going to fight Tom Aspinall."
Mhm.
Then the UFC said that they gave him that money, and then now he's like, "Oh, actually, I'm going to retire."
Wow.
So basically, the last 2 years of the heavyweight division have been held up, waiting on this fight, and then John Jones retired, who also is now in another legal issue. So at this point, move on from John Jones. Tom Aspinall's the champion. We'll see what happens.
That's crazy. So we just talked about the UFC maybe like not even a month ago, and you were telling me like he obviously he's still the GOAT, of course. But you were telling me he's also
I mean, by his resume, yes, he is. But I mean, his legal issues can sway some people. But yeah, I mean, his resume alone. I mean, he's beaten so many former champions. I think legacy-wise, yes, he has like the PED stuff, but I mean, who probably doesn't? I mean, but based on his resume, he's easily, I would say, he's the GOAT.
But yeah, that's insane though. So we were just talking about this, and you mentioned to me that he was like the top champion, and I know John Jones. He's been around for a long time. I was familiar with the name, and I was a fan of some of the fights I've seen him in. But now you're telling me, like, is he still technically the champion as we speak right now, or have they already relinquished the title?
They took the belt off him.
Really? When was this? When did all of this happen?
It happened in a press conference in Baku, Azerbaijan last weekend.
Oh, holy shit, man. That's an eventful week for UFC. That is
Some
insane.
reporter just randomly asked Dana White, and he's like, yeah, actually, he retired last night, so he's no longer the champion. They're like, what?
So when was the last time he defended the title in a fight?
I think it was last year in New York. I think it was, let me see here. I don't know. He fought Stipe Miocic and beat him. Was it 307? Let me take a look.
I mean, that must have been a while ago. If you're saying last year, that's at least 6 months.
It was it might have been November.
Okay. Well, that's normal, right? I mean, they're not having fights every month, or is that?
No, but like, yeah, he defended on my birthday, November 16th. Okay, that was 8 months ago.
Yeah.
And he hasn't fought since, and he wasn't really planning on fighting ever since.
That's crazy.
But like before that, he was injured. He was out for a year before that as well, and he was still champion.
Do you think they put all their? I mean, I say this as if it's a kayfabe thing, but John Jones was their biggest star. Like, did they put all their eggs in the John Jones basket, and now it's kind of coming back to bite them because he has all these legal issues and stuff?
The problem with him is like they did the same. It's like the same thing with McGregor. Like if it was anyone else, they would have stripped the belt.
Yeah.
When he got hurt originally, they would take the belt off of him, and when they came back, they would fight the interim champion or whatever. But with him and like some McGregor, like. It was the same thing. I don't know if you saw, like, Conor McGregor was going to fight Michael Chandler, and it never happened. It was, like, 2 years. Like,
yeah, I heard.
Oh, he's going to fight Michael Chandler. Oh, they're going to do tough together. They did the tough season. Oh, they're going to fight. Oh, they're going to fight at welterweight. No, they're not going to fight. And then nothing ever materialized. And the same thing happened to John Jones. So it's like, with certain people, they'll let it, like, flesh out and be like, yeah, it's going to happen. And then it never does. With normal people, they'll be like, yeah, we'll take the belt off you. Because that's what they should do anyways.
Yeah. I mean, how can he avoid this? If he dealt with that with McGregor and now Jones, does he just stop? Like, should they stop teasing big fights that don't actually come to fruition? Because then it pisses off fans like you.
He guaranteed it was going to happen. He guaranteed it was going to happen.
That's pretty bad.
He looks like a moron.
Yeah, no, he looks very dumb, especially if it's happened multiple times. Like, you're burning your hardcore fans, such as yourself, of the product. Again, like, we're talking about it as if it's wrestling here. All right, I am. I don't know. That's crazy. You would just think he would have learned his lesson by now to not be like, oh, yeah, it's definitely happening, and then it never fucking happens. That sounds like a Vince McMahon move.
That's crazy. It's a crazy look.
Hey, long-term booking, no payoff? I'd be pissed, too. I totally get that. Johnny said, money talks, bullshit walks in regards to John Jones. Fernando said, WWE better pray nothing tragic happens at Saudi. Nothing's going to happen. I mean, you can't say never, obviously, or no, not 100% chance, but I severely doubt it. I think it's going to be okay.
I would say that because that would cause that would cause even more. I mean, then Saudi Arabia would get involved.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's a lot more to it than just they want to ruin Triple H's big wrestling show. So I doubt it, but I understand what you mean, though. Johnny said, I hear Disney plans to release Stitch with Stitches. And he also said, Battle of the Austins, Stone Cold versus Theory. Fuck no. I think he already actually stunned Austin Theory when he was in the ring a few years ago. So we actually already kind of saw that. Austin Theory who? We haven't seen him since.
Who? And last time I saw him, he was fighting with what's-his-face back. He was fighting with what's-his-face.
Yeah. He was fighting Sheamus, right? A couple weeks ago?
Yeah, but like they showed him in a backstage segment.
Grayson Waller. Yeah.
I think it was like, I don't know if it was Becky. Someone was walking backstage and they were like arguing backstage.
I think it was Becky, yeah. I think you're right. Yeah, no. That was weeks ago, and there's been no follow-up on the whole betrayal, teasing of the tension, and that was literally a year and a half ago. At this point, I mean, how can anyone possibly give a shit? But it's just a running gag at this point. Maria, what's going on? And Brad Pitt is a hot chunk of meat, she says. Hey, listen, he's not an unattractive fellow, I'll tell you that much. I just rewatched, have you ever seen Bullet Train before? He's in that movie, too. Great movie.
Is that the one that Bad Bunny's in?
Yes. He makes not even really a cameo. Like he's probably going to make a cameo in Happy Gilmore 2, which I'm actually looking forward to. No, but in this movie, he has like an actual role for like several minutes, and he's actually pretty good. So I would recommend it. That's a good movie. AJ Watson said, I have a weird feeling that The Rock will be seen as the last opponent since he might drop the title at SummerSlam. They are absolutely not fucking doing Cena versus Rock. That would even imply The Rock will be back before the end of the year, and even that's not looking likely. So unless there's a pivot, it's definitely not happening. So you don't want another Rock rant from yours truly, trust me. We don't need to waste time on that shit. You might get it if Goldberg wins the championship in 2 weeks. But besides that, hopefully that doesn't happen. Fernando said John Jones spent most of his career half suspended for stuff. Is that true?
I mean, like I said, he had some decent legal issues, and then he had some PED stuff. I don't know if say half his career, but it was a decent amount.
Yeah, I heard about legal issues with him years ago, which is why I thought he wasn't fighting anymore, because I thought he was done because of that stuff a long time ago. Fernando also said, I do not remember if we discussed this on Tuesday, but Abyss also retired. Yeah, I think he said that he's not coming back for another match. I saw a clip from that Cody Rhodes Kevin Owens interview that I want to watch. I saw this clip on Twitter where Cody was saying for years he was trying to get Abyss into the Rumble, which would have been fucking awesome. Abyss just debuting in WWE 2K25 earlier this week.
The theme,
with the music, exactly.
Love the theme.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh, dude, that's fucking sick. I saw that. I'm like, they'll probably put in like, some custom BS, some generic bullshit, whatever. No, they put in the fucking iconic TNA theme. You know what? Actually, pivot here for a second. Off the top of your head, GOAT TNA theme songs. Give me like a top 3 off the top of your head. For me, it's probably that one. AJ Styles, Get Ready to Fly. I don't know. Do you have any other ones? I don't know.
So I literally took the two. Abyss and the AJ Styles are the two that came off the mind.
Oh, for me, actually, Beer Money. Big Beer Money guy.
Oh, God. For some reason, I feel like, I'm trying to think.
I'm trying to think of who was there in their themes. Christians I also really like too, as you can tell from the shirt.
Oh, you know who? LAX.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they got the guns.
No, Hernandez with the whistle.
Oh, that song? Oh, okay. Wait. I got to pull it up now. The dun, dun, dun.
Oh, the Jeff Jarrett. Someone put Jeff Jarrett. That's a good one.
Jeff Jarrett is goated. Okay, Jeff Jarrett. Yes, I agree with that, Daniel. That's a
also
fucking great one.
Kurt Angle's was pretty good. I'm probably like...
Yeah, his was like a... Dun, 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 dun. It was like a rap or something like that. He had a good one.
No, I think it was Kurt Angle's. They had like a whistle. I'm trying to think how it went. I don't think it sounds like that.
I can't sing for shit, so don't ask me. I know what it sounds like. I just can't reenact it. Jeff Jarrett's... Okay, I take that back. It's Abyss, AJ, Jeff Jarrett. My world is... goated. Don't want to see him on AW television, but the theme is fucking awesome. The Abyss song is great, though. The fact that they have that in 2K25 with Janice, no less, as well. He has Janice with him, which is fucking crazy. For a guy that never stepped foot, aside from as a producer in the last few years, he has never stepped foot in a WWE ring as Abyss. That is fucking awesome that they have him in the game. So I'll be playing 2K25 just for that. Average Grunt, what's going on, brother? He said he wants me to talk about Dynamite. I'll get to that in just a moment. I'll give you my quick thoughts on the show. I do want to get to these other chats, and I'll talk about Dynamite real quick. But he also said, hey, Graham, hey, RJ in the chat. What's going on, my man? Hope you're doing well. Eric asking Mr. Marceau, like I said, direct all the UFC chats towards Mr. Marceau. He said, I'm terrible with the pronunciations, as you know. He says, do you think Tapora can be Islam? I mean, you already talked about this, didn't you?
Taporia, yeah. I mean, so basically, like, give you another lesson. Islam Mahak. I can't even say his name.
Wow, so you can't pronounce it either.
I can't say it. He was the lightweight champion, and then he's just like dropped it to go to middleweight or no welterweight, which is 170. And then Ilya was like, "Oh, he ran from me. I was gonna fight him at 155." It would be a good fight. The problem is like Islam's like a really good grappler, and Taporia is a good boxing. Like he's more of a stand-up guy, so I think it would honestly be a great fight. I still think Islam would probably win. He's just a big 155er.
Mm-hmm.
But it'd be a great fight. That's besides Aspinall and Jones, I'd say that was probably like the biggest fight they can make right now.
I was just about to ask that. Like, what's the biggest fight they can make at the moment that you would see as being realistically possible?
I mean, that one, if Pereira fought at heavyweight, it'd probably be him and Aspinall at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Islam and Topuria would probably be up there. Pantoja and Marab would be up there. I'm trying to think what else. I mean, these are all like champion super fights at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Drickus and Hamzat are fighting coming up. That should be a good fight too. They have a decent amount in the pipeline.
It sounds like a lot of potential good fights and a lot of good fighters, so they might not need to make new stars with John Jones being gone, it sounds like.
So about Megan Rain's entrance. I mean, beautiful people. The entrance alone just feed at the match.
Yeah, I mean, not even theme. The
even
entire
the theme
entrance
was
itself.
great. Yeah.
The theme down, bow, down, down, down. Wait
Yeah,
for it,
you know.
Taz. Let the pigeons loose.
Big fan.
Great entrance. Yeah, Madison Rain. Yeah, I saw Megan. I mean, he said Megan Rain.
I said Megan Rain. Madison Rain is what I was thinking of.
Killer Queen, I think that name of that. So that was a good song. I also like Hardcore Country, Mickey James, which he used in the Rumble a few years ago. That was also a good one. Hardcore Country. Yeah, Daniel also said Jeff Jarrett, My World, great song. Hunter said, thoughts on Cody saying that he's at the end of his babyface run. I think Cody still has at least 2 years left as a babyface. We still need feuds with Randy, Punk, and Gunther with Cody as a babyface. Yeah, so Cody made the rounds this week in some sort of interview he was doing. I think at Fanatics Fest, probably. Someone asked him about a potential heel turn. And he said he didn't shy away from it. He goes, yeah, we probably have a couple years left as a babyface before I have to turn, which was a pretty, honestly, kind of surreal thing for him to say. Do you agree with that? Do you think we could see a heel Cody in the next 3 years? Obviously, anything can happen. I'm honestly kind of shocked that people are still on his side now. He's been back for 3 years, and fans are so fucking fickle. I mean, he gets some boos, but it's not like they've completely turned on him. Is a heel turn imminent, or do you think they can hold off for another 2-3 years?
I mean, yeah, like I said, I'm surprised people haven't turned on him already. I mean, I guess it really depends on how much longer he has left in the tank. I mean, I think he's in his 40s now. I would say he's pretty close to it. I mean, a couple of years down the road, I mean, I think you probably want to wrap it up eventually. But no, I think like another year or two. I'm not sick of him just yet. I mean, like you said, he does have a few feuds left, but at that point, it's going to be. The thing is, if you turn him heel, how long? Like you said, it kind of depends on how much time he has left. So, if he plans to stick around for a while, then yeah, I think you could say 2 or 3 years as a face and then turn heel. But I guess we'll wait and see.
Yeah, I think that's an accurate timeline. I think he could wait 2 to 3 years. If he's still as over now as he is, if he's as over now as he's going to be in a year or two from now, then I think that makes sense. I would not turn him while he's still at the peak of his popularity. I think that'd be dumb. Fernando, I agree. Cody should not turn heel anytime soon. I just feel like that'd be. I feel like it'd be premature, but a good question, though. Grunt said, Kurt Angle's TNA theme was pretty dope, like Mr. Marceau said. Christian Cage and the Motor City Machine Guns as well. Love the Machine Guns, another good one. I agree. Team Canada, I'm not familiar with that one. I wasn't watching when Team Canada was around, but I assume it's the Canadian, national anthem or something like that. Fernando said James Storm had a pretty good entrance song. He did. Sorry about your damn luck or whatever it was. Great song. Sorry about your apologies for your misfortune. That's what he would say if he went to WWE with alcohol currency. My top answer would be Triple X. Triple X. What the theme? I don't remember Triple X. Again, that was before my time of TNA. This is a good question. Johnny said best if you can.
I saw this one.
Best pro wrestler that came from mixed martial arts.
Oh, I thought you were talking about their favorite Abyss match. I couldn't even tell you one.
I missed that one. I'll go back to that. Sorry, go ahead.
That's a tough question because it's like they came from MMA to wrestling. Like Brock was
he was already a wrestler, right? I mean, he would probably be the answer. But yeah.
Ken Shamrock would probably have to be up there just because he was originally MMA, then he went pro wrestling, then went back to MMA.
Yeah.
I mean,
probably Shamrock. I was going to say Ronda.
Dan Severn, but he never really was a wrestler.
Yeah.
Bobby Lashley was a wrestler, then MMA. Ronda Rousey, honestly, would probably have to be up there.
No, I was going to say, yeah.
Shayna Baszler, I mean, not that she was the greatest. She was probably a better pro wrestler than she was an MMA star. I know that. So I go Lola Vice. The problem is there's not too many. Matt Riddle.
I was going to say, I was just
not a bad one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it would have to be more recent because a lot of the people were wrestlers before they went MMA.
Yeah.
The MMA to pro wrestling really hasn't been a thing.
Yeah, no, you're right. Those are a lot of good names. I was also thinking Riddle, Rousey. The issue with Rousey is that she picked up on wrestling very quickly, and she wasn't bad at all, but like the promos were fucking terrible, and her second run was not. I really feel like that second run honestly hurt her legacy in WWE. Still a first ballot Hall of Famer, and she'll get a reaction if she returns at some point. But that second run was, dude, we were there for that last match with Shayna. That was not that good.
That was terrible.
At SummerSlam, you could hear a pin drop in the MMA rule.
Made my
match.
chicken tenders taste bad.
Yeah, seriously. Matt Riddle, I mean, for as problematic as the dude is, the guy is excellent, and he was excellent in WWE, especially in the ring. So I probably would honestly go with him. But I think it's neck and neck with him and Ken Shamrock. Ken Shamrock just wasn't there long enough for me to say, oh, yeah, it's Ken Shamrock is the guy. But he was also very good for the time that he was there. But yeah, do you have a favorite Abyss match in TNA or no? Any Monsters Ball match, I guess, right?
I was going to say, just any of the Monster Balls, I'd throw him in there.
Yeah, he just wasn't really, like, I can't list off. I mean, he was having great matches before I started watching TNA. Like, in the early 2000s, he was having some bangers, but, like, when I started watching in, like, 08, 09, he was kind of the end of his rope even then, like, 15 years ago. Like, he was very limited with what he could do. But I love the fucking, board with nails in it for as ridiculous as that was. And the theme song was iconic. So, honestly, I didn't care really what he was doing, but anything he was doing, I was entertained by. And also when he had Joseph the Park persona, too. Joseph Park, it's not the same guy. Joseph Park and Abyss are two totally different people, like Elias and Ezekiel. So, anyway, big Abyss fan here. David the Goliath said, "Morning. If Cody were to turn heel, who would you want to see him feud with?" That's a good question. I don't know. Do you have any names that come to the top of your head? I mean, it could even be someone like a Randy, just with like Cody as the heel instead of Randy as the heel.
I don't know. I honestly got nothing for you.
I mean, you know what? I would like to see him run it back.
Would be cool.
Who was it?
Sammy was face.
Oh yeah, like that one. Sammy. I mean, obviously him and Jay at some point would be cool based on their history. They had a match on Monday. Not anytime soon, but him and Roman running it back would be cool. I mean, with the roles reversed, I feel like a third match, a rubber match, that'd be fun. Not anytime soon. That'd be a future WrestleMania main event. Grunt said, breaking news. We're finally getting matches announced for a Super Card of Honor. First match confirmed is Athena versus Thunder Rosa for the women's title. I did not see that, but I figured that was going to happen. They've been teasing that a lot lately. As far as Dynamite from last night, Grunt, before I forget, just to give you my quick thoughts, I have my full written review up, so you can go check that out. But I thought it was a good show. I talked a lot about AEW last week. There really wasn't much that happened on Wednesday, so I won't give you the full match-by-match breakdown from last night. But Coda's match, first match back in a few years, was great. He's facing Okada next week, so I'm looking forward to that. He beat Trent Beretta last night. The whole Jet Speed AR Fox Ricochet match was fun. The two four-ways I thought were well wrestled. I enjoyed those for the number one spot in the women's and men's Casino Gauntlets, respectively. Adam Page and Beast Mortos was a very random main event, but it was a good match, and I like Page a lot. Swerve and Ospreay against Blake Christian and Lee Johnson was a well-wrestled match. A little bit longer than it needed to be, considering it probably should have been a squash, but thought the match was fun. And the opening segment with Mercedes and Tony was fine. The feud's just kind of been there for me. They really haven't done a whole lot to get me excited for the feud itself, but the match would be great. So I am very looking forward to All In, though. I talked about that last week. So my full Grand Slam Mexico review in Mr. Marceau's absence, you can go back and check that out from last week. But yeah, there's some stuff about AEW right now I like. It kind of feels like the build to All In has felt a bit inconsequential, and they should be doing more with the build for All In and kind of making that card feel more special than it does. But at least they're announcing stuff for Super Card of Honor. I'm glad to hear that. That's the Ring of Honor show. Maria said, why tell us that his babyface turn might be coming to an end down the road? Can we wrestling fans not get surprises anymore? I mean, it's an honest answer. I mean, he said he probably will turn heel in a couple of years. That doesn't mean they might turn him heel before then. And we also don't know when he's talking. He's not like, oh, yeah, I'm going to turn heel at WrestleMania 43. Like, he didn't say that. It can happen at any time. So whenever it happens, that'll be a big deal. Grunt mentioned the Abyss Cage match with AJ Styles. I don't think I've seen that one. That would have been before I started watching. Dan Severn was sold or solid, Fernando said. Yeah, I didn't see much of his work. That was before my time. But I obviously know who Dan Severn is. But, he was good, but not as good as some of the other people that Mr. Marceau mentioned. Daniel was actually also at SummerSlam 2023, he said. He said the Mass You noticed this too when we were there, when we were fucking watching it. The mass exodus during that Ronda Shayna match, I was there too. Like, just, we all witnessed it. It was sad to say, because I'm like, this match should feel a lot bigger than it does. And instead, I feel like my hand fell asleep because I was sitting on it for so long.
That's what happens.
Yep. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that, David. Cody versus LA Knight, that would be another good one. If LA Knight's also not a heel at that point, that would be cool. Fernando mentioned also the Abyss AJ Styles cage match. I agree with that as well. Johnny said AEW needs to cut back on signing New Japan guys, not just ex-WWE wrestlers. They need to cut back on signing people, period. In WWE, you could say the same thing as far as I would only sign people that are actually really necessary. You don't need to sign everyone that comes out of WWE or AEW, New Japan, whatever. They have a lot of great people already on their rosters. I guess I'll get your 2 cents on this as well, Mr. Marceau. That report came out from Fightful, I think yesterday, that AEW wasn't actively, like they're much more selective now with hiring ex-WWE guys. I think that's very smart. And girls too, obviously. They're not just signing anyone with like a decent name that came out of WWE, which is what they should have been doing years ago. Do you agree with that?
I mean, you can't just sign everyone. I mean, the checkbook only goes so long. So, yeah. I mean, I think you just need to start prioritizing who, like, I guess if you're going to sign someone, like, have, like, an actual, like, plan.
Yeah, and there's only so much television time, too, right? I mean, getting 2 minutes on Collision isn't exactly, indicating that you're getting a push. I mean, your favorite, Speedball Mike Bailey, he's on the show every single week. So, I mean, he's getting television time. But there's other people they hire that, like if the Motor City Machine Gun's there, for example, you would never see them on the show. They're on SmackDown pretty consistently, and they have been since they debuted. You would not be seeing them on AEW television, if at all, at least on just Collision. So I think them specifically made the right choice. Why is Collision tonight? I don't know, Eric. Maybe it's because of all the stuff going on Saturday between Night of Champions, the UFC stuff. I'm not sure. Maybe is there a race or a fight going on, or a basketball thing going on this weekend, or no? I think that's all done.
It's only baseball. It's the only main sport. So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why it's getting preempted, honestly. Imagine if Mina wins the TBS title next week. I could see it. It's a possibility. The build under the undercard of All In has been a little underwhelming. I agree. Is it disappointing that Liv's out for a long time? I will get to that because Mr. Marceau wasn't here last week, so I'll ask him about that in a little bit. Eric said, do you think Dakota's still signed to the AEW? Or AEW? Yeah, I do at some point, maybe not immediately, but I do think she goes to AEW at some point. Nathaniel said, do you think Stephanie is the one to beat Becky for the championship? Do you think Stephanie's next women's intercontinental champion? I don't know if I would say that, but I could see it happening.
I wouldn't say so.
I would hope, they would put the belt back on Lyra, so she wins the feud ultimately, in my opinion. But, Stephanie wouldn't be a bad choice, depending on how that goes. Thoughts on the Night of Champions debacle relating to Iran? You don't have to answer if you don't want to. No, I'll talk about it. I mean, I talked a lot about it on Tuesday as far as should they cancel, should they not cancel. At this point, it doesn't fucking matter because they're doing the show regardless. But when we get to Night of Champions, I'll ask Mr. Marceau's thoughts on that. Tony learned his lesson with Alistair, Rusev, and Andrade, Johnny said. The thing is with them, I mean, I would have signed them too, but they just didn't, the booking was also part of the problem. It's not like they only wanted to go back to WWE.
I mean, the fact that they started with Rusev, he was teaming with Kip Sabian, I mean, that was half the problem.
Yeah, I mean, if their booking was so great in AEW, and they were part of the problem, they probably weren't putting forward a lot of great effort, but Andrade, when he debuted, was put with fucking Vicky Guerrero. Like, they really weren't presented as stars from the get-go. Aleister Black was, but then something happened. He also got hurt, but a lot of that came down to the booking. And if they were having such a great run there, then they would have stayed. Like Swerve. Swerve's been booked great. He's had a fun run, so he stayed. He didn't go right back to WWE. He could have. Fernando said that was Tina's big mistake. They signed everyone who left WWE. Correct. And what if Adam Copeland replaces Christian in Patriarchy? I wouldn't do that. They'll probably just reunite and then leave the Patriarchy stuff behind. Mr. Marceau, I got to ask you about this. This was in the news this past week. Stone Cold Steve Austin, per Fightful, reportedly open to a potential in-ring return. I guess he was saying over WrestleMania weekend to a few people behind the scenes, other wrestlers, higher-ups, whatever, that he might actually be open to wrestling another match. Now, mind you, I think we last saw him on WWE television at Mania doing the whole attendance thing, almost killing that person in the audience with the fucking RV or the ATV or whatever. I kid. But prior to that point, I don't think we've seen him on WWE TV aside from that since when he wrestled that last match against Kevin Owens at WrestleMania 38. I think he was on WrestleMania the next night, stunning Austin Theory, as we said, but he wrestled the night prior against Owens, beat him, and that was it. And there's been rumbling since then that we've discussed about, like, oh, he could be facing Roman Reigns, or they want him in the ring at WrestleMania 40, or they want him to do a run in at 39. None of that happened. And as far as how old he is, he's got to be like 50. Like, he's got to be 60 at this point. Let me do a quick.
He's probably in his 50s.
I feel like he's 60. Let me check. I'm going to do a quick Google search. Yeah, he turned 60 years old on December 18th, so 6-7 months ago. And this is someone who might be open to another match, who was not open to wrestling again for like almost 20 years. Legitimately almost exactly 20 years since his last match is when he came back out of retirement. And I guess he might want to wrestle again. Obviously, WWE wouldn't say no because they would make a ton of money off of it, as they did at 38. But the thing with 38 was we didn't even know if he was fucking wrestling. Like, it was very on and off, and that was a real thing. They didn't really decide till the last minute. He did the match, went well, and as great of a note as he kind of ended on there, he might risk ruining that by coming back for another match. I mean, I kind of already know the answer to this because we've discussed it before, but it might now be a reality. So let me ask you, is that something you're interested in? Another Stone Cold Steve Austin in-ring return?
Not really.
Especially as time passes, too, and he gets older.
I mean, maybe one match, but, I mean, that's just being like, hopefully maybe it go well and just the one last hurrah. But, I mean, at this point, the guy's 60 years old. I mean, it's like Goldberg. Like, at least with Goldberg, it's like we've seen it. Like, he's wrestled plenty of times. It's like we don't need to see it again. Austin, like I said, I think could probably get away with maybe one match. But even then, it's like, do you really want, like, realistically, to him, it's like, what does he lose? Like, he's already no one's gonna remember it. So if he had like a couple bad matches, but I mean, I would just maybe one. I would say one and then just move on.
Yeah, so one match, but like, what does that one match look like, you think? Because the last match he had was perfect. Like, honestly, if it was anything more than what it was, it probably could have been good. I feel like it was a situation where, like, with Taker and Cena at Mania 34, when they had that 2-minute squash, Taker talked about in his documentary that he was preparing for like a fucking 20-minute classic. And honestly, I'm not saying it would have been a classic match because Cena was also kind of past his prime even then. But it could have been a really good match because Taker was ready for it. Whereas the year before at Mania 33, the match with Roman was fucking terrible. It was an awful main event. So WWE probably thought that would also be terrible, which is why they booked it to be short. But he was ready for something better. Stone Cold Steve Austin against Owens, they might have expected him to show a lot of ring rust, not be a great match. Same thing with him. That's probably why he wanted it to be more of a brawl and less of a match. But it turned out to exceed expectations. Now that we've seen that, like, if you were to actually wrestle one more match, I wouldn't be completely opposed to it. But do you think it's an actual match? Or do you think it would have to be with a guy being 60 at this point, even older than fucking Goldberg and all the health issues that Steve Austin has had? It would need to be more of an angle than an actual match.
Yeah, I would say so. I'm not looking to see 20 minutes bell to bell here.
I just don't know if that really works. You know what I mean?
No, I agree.
Like Taker and Goldberg at Crown Jewel or Super Showdown all those years ago in Saudi, that was not a 2-minute match. Gunther and Goldberg should be like a 2 to 3 minute match, probably 4 or 5 minutes max. Goldberg and Taker was like 9-10 minutes, and that's not really that long, but it is for a fucking Goldberg match, even in 2019. Same thing with Taker. That match was putrid. So I think shorter and sweeter would be better. If he never wrestles again, he left on a great note. He left on a great note 20 years ago. But like to come back out of retirement in Texas, main event of Mania, against someone who has forever idolized him in Kevin Owens, I feel like that was the best way for him to go out. But since we're on the subject, if he does wrestle again from the active roster, who makes sense to face Stone Cold Steve Austin? Some of the names earlier were John Cena. That's not fucking happening, as John Cena's done this year. And Stone Cold, I don't think, would wrestle this year. And that match in 2025, 2026 would be fucking awful, just based on what we've seen from Cena so far this year. So that's a no. Maybe 15 years ago. But there's CM Punk. That's obviously the number one name. Wouldn't be the match that it could have been in 2013, but still an option. There's really any number of people, but probably only a few that make sense. So for you, who do you think would make sense to face Stone Cold Steve Austin?
I mean, Punk would be one. Cody. Orton.
Just because he's the guy. Roman Reigns? Yeah. I don't know. Orton. Orton. Someone said Orton.
Orton. I mean, they had some prior things back like 20 years ago, but yeah. I would say Cody, Punk, and Orton be my three.
They can run back the Survivor Series 03 Bad Blood between Austin and Orton in one of your favorite matches of all time. Hey, that was your 10th birthday. The fact that fell on your 10th birthday is amazing.
That's why he got fired.
Stone Cold Steve Austin was done as the, let me check my notes here, the sheriff of Monday Night Raw because he lost that match.
Mm-hmm.
Go do your homework, kids. I actually really like that. It's a great match anyway, but every time I think about it, I immediately think of you. And it's just, I've seen that match a ton because of you, because I've watched it with you, and I've also watched it a few times because of you, because you told me to watch it, because it's such a good match. And the overall show, Shane and Kane, rather, ambulance match.
Great match.
Great match. Probably the best ambulance match I've ever seen. Let's be honest here. Very, very good match. But yeah, I think the CM Punk match would be cool for the promos alone, honestly. The match itself, you know, it might be an Undertaker Sting thing where even if they did the match 10 years ago with Undertaker and Sting, it's not happening now, of course, nor should it. But like the hype and the promos and the packages for it and stuff might actually be better than the match itself. And neither of them might want to deal with that disappointment. So I don't know if it's a tag team match. A tag team match would be cool. But like for what? Is it just for him to make money? Is it just to promote the match this time? Because the Owens match, they promoted he'd be there. They didn't promote it was happening. But now there's so much more money to be made under the TKO banner of like, with the Goldberg thing, that's why they're doing it. Like, it's nice that he's thrown Goldberg a bone, Triple H, and being like, all right, you've whined for long enough about having one more match. We'll just fucking give it to you so you could shut the fuck up. But it's also a marketing opportunity for them to say, oh, it's his last match and it's his last ride. They could sell the shirts with that on it. They could sell Saturday Night's Main Event as Goldberg's retirement match. That's very smart marketing. They might want to do the same thing with Stone Cold Steve Austin. I will say this, and I didn't even bring this up because I think it'd be terrible. Can we just say now, no Stone Cold versus Rock, please? In 2025, 2026? Is that something you want to see?
I'm done running Twain and Stone Cold back.
Oh my, you're actually down for that match?
I'm down.
With the AAA, fucking membership too?
Yeah, I actually don't hate that one.
Wow. Okay, maybe I'll level with you here. I have no interest in that match because I just feel like that'd be awful in modern day. But what about a tag team match? Stone Cold and Punk? Listen to this. I mean, Cena's retiring, but what if we got Cena and Rock versus Punk and Austin? That would be awesome. Hashtag book it.
Yeah, do it.
It's not going to happen now because, Cena's retiring and also The Rock can't bother to show up to fucking work, but it's okay. Stone Cold versus LA Knight, David asked. I'd be down for that if it was like a Kevin Owens type thing where LA Knight calls him out. I feel like that'd be awesome. I was kind of hoping for that a few years ago, but I'd be down for that too. How old was Taker when he retired, Fernando asked?
Old.
He was old, but he wasn't that old. Like, I don't even know if he's 60 now. He's like mid-50s, bro. He might have been 50. No, he's 60 also now. He just turned 60, so he would have been 55, 54, depending on when. Actually, they probably taped the match on his 50. It was on March 24th. They taped the match ahead of time. They probably taped it on his 55th birthday. So, he was already old. Let's put it that way, like Mr. Marceau said. Yeah, perhaps we can finally get Stone Cold versus Goldberg. Just put the fucking knife in me now, David. That would be terrible. Mike has said, is there anything that Triple H does that you guys can't stand? That's a good question. Is there anything of Triple H's that bothers you? I mean,
Graham already knows what my answer is.
Is it? I was going to say, well,
what's my answer going to be?
I feel like your answer is, and I also agree with this if it's what I think it is, too many multi-man matches. Or no, is it something else?
That's one of my complaints. One of my other complaints, I've mentioned this to you. I can't stand when they just cut off random entrances. Like, they cut people's entrances, and instead they show, like, a backstage segment that, like,
or the skyline of some random city or something, yeah.
Like, oh, here comes fucking Bayley walking through the back, and then she has, like, a 2-second interaction with someone, and then we come back from commercial, it's a new match in the ring, and they're like, before that, they're promoting something else, and then it's like, oh, now we have this one-on-one match. Like, okay, I guess that's where we're going now. Like,
yeah.
They show Penta's entrance. We see Penta every time Penta comes out. We gotta see him. He does the tongue out, and he got the stupid fireworks. But anyone else, they skip their entrance. Like, I've seen Penta's entrance 1,000 times.
Yeah.
But we never skip that one. But we gotta get it. Everyone else's we gotta skip.
Yeah, I mean, Penta's entrance is definitely better than Roxanne's, but Roxanne...
No, I love Jay, but no, we got to round it back 1,000 times to do the fucking E thing. I'm fucking tired of that, by the way.
You got the television time to do it. Yeah, no, they got to stop doing it. Yeah, no, I agree. I totally agree. I think it's a case of, with, like, Roxanne specifically, like, it is annoying, but you also got to think, like, how this affects the program in the sense that when you don't show Roxanne's entrance, you don't know what her music is. Like you know what her music is. I know what her music is. But if you're watching as a casual viewer and you just see her in the ring, what music did she come out to? So when then you go to the show and her music plays, you have no fucking clue who it is, and you don't really react. So therefore, some of these people don't get reactions. I'm just saying I think that's also part of the.
Like, and they skipped Jay's entrance, and they loved showing her entrance. They didn't show her entrance either.
Are you sure?
I don't remember seeing it. Maybe I skipped it.
I feel like it was there.
Maybe I skipped it. My bad.
Roxanne, they definitely did not show, though. They did not. And I feel like that telegraphs the finish, too. It's like, okay, they're showing Jade and not Roxanne, then we know Roxanne's probably losing. So, I agree. That is something that bothers me. And the multi-man matches. Way too many fucking four-ways. I know you have a lot of great people on your roster, but you can't feature everyone every week with the same multi-man matches. It fucking pisses me off. No one gets over if you're trying to get everyone over. It just doesn't work that way. David said, fantasy booking, what's a matchup that you want to see with a retired wrestler in their prime against a modern superstar? I mean, there's a million answers to that. But like I think a Stone Cold, honestly, what you guys said earlier, Stone Cold in his prime against LA Knight of today, I feel like would be a lot of fun. Any other names? Any other dream matches come to mind for you of a legend in their prime versus someone today? Like a Goldberg in his prime versus Braun Breaker today? That's another one I would go with.
That's a great question. I got nothing.
Yeah. Some of the ones
I
mentioned.
got Rey Mysterio in his prime versus Dom right now.
Wow, okay. And even the match they had a few years ago was still fun.
But Rey in his prime? No,
his prime,
7 ACLs ago? Come on, that would have been better.
And Aaliyah still at ringside, getting disrespected by her brother. Yeah. Mrs. Buddy Murphy herself.
Mm-hmm.
I hope she's doing well. Hope she's doing well in college or whatever she's got going on right now. Johnny said Goldberg versus Gunther should be a 90-minute Iron Man match. Johnny, trying to
Johnny needs to lay off the crack.
I was going to say, can you share some with the rest of us? Micah said, I don't think Austin would do a one-on-one match. I see it being a tag match. It's something easy he can get through. Yeah, that's what happened with Shawn Michaels. He didn't want to come back for a singles match, so he just did the tag team match instead. So, that's very possible. Austin and Punk versus McIntyre and Rock. Anything with Austin and Rock on opposite sides, I would be more okay with that than a singles match. But I don't think Rock has to fucking show up. That's the problem. Like, we're counting on someone who doesn't show up, who's not reliable. Stone Cold versus Breaker and Reed in the handicap match, that makes no sense. No thanks, Johnny. Again, spread the crack around because you're getting too much of it.
This is getting crazy.
CM Punk wanted to face Stone Cold for a long time. Could be a chance. Yeah, I know. He's talked a lot about it. I think Austin also thinks a lot of Punk, so it's not completely out of the realm of possibility. Austin versus Travis Scott. Fuck no. I mean, maybe for the memes alone, for the viral moment, but I can't stand hearing Fiend again. It's a good song, but I can't deal with that shit again. Nathaniel brought up what we were actually talking about before we went live here. He saw the Ballerina movie on Tuesday. It's a great movie. I saw it while we were at downtown Disney, actually. Did you want to see it just because it looked good, or did you actually see the other John Wick movies?
I haven't seen any John Wick movie. It just looked good.
Wow, okay. You don't have to see him. I mean, it connects to one of them, but I mean, if you don't watch them, you're not going to miss anything. But the John Wick movies are awesome, especially the first one. I would recommend it. Who would win between Stone Cold and Punk? Probably Stone Cold. But if it was today, I would imagine CM Punk. Stone Cold's fucking 60. I'm down to see Rocky take one more stunner, Daniel said. Me too. He probably would have taken that stunner at WrestleMania fucking 40 had he actually shown up. Stone Cold, that is, not Rock. Rock was there.
Stone Cold. Rocky was there.
Yeah, Stone Cold was the one not showing up for work. He said, that doesn't work for me, brother. If it's not the right rate, I'm not going to be there. Grunt said, it's still looking like maybe we're getting the Ops versus the Death Riders for the Trios titles. Do you think Pac will be back in time for that? Or could you see that someone like Gabe Kidd filling in for the third spot? I think Pac's out for a while. I think he got hurt again, and it was a significant injury, I think. I would love if he was back. I'm not expecting it, so I think Gabe Kidd would probably have to fill in. Austin versus Dirty Dom, interesting proposition. Cena, Rock, and Travis Scott versus Stone Cold and CM Punk. Again, Rock would have to fucking show up, and Cena's retiring at the end of the year, so I don't see that happening. I would not waste Steve Austin's retirement, by the way, Fernando, on Logan Paul. I could see why people would book that match, but
terrible.
No thanks. Austin versus Logan, Beer versus Prime. David said the same thing. No thanks. Shawn Michaels and AJ, for that whole.
That's a good one.
That's a good one from the modern legend conversation we were having. Micah said, I don't like the dragging out of the breakup of tag teams. Yeah, that's another Triple H pet peeve. Austin Theory and Waller have needed the split for over a year now. What the fuck is going on? He doesn't care.
It's called the long burn, guys.
Long burn. Longer you tease it out, drag it out, the more it's going to be.
I mean, at this point, both guys are going to be on Q3 budget cuts, so I'm not really worried about it at this point.
Well,
I love Austin Theory, but at this point, it's just they're not pushing him. So it's time to just Q3, get rid of the salary.
Best advice I can give to Austin Theory at this point: change your number. Can't fire you if you don't pick up your phone to be told that you're fired, right? So JTG learned that the hard way. Marisa, multi-participant matches and tournaments. Yeah, a lot of tournaments. And taking too long to break up factions is what annoys me about the Triple H era. I agree with that as well. Eddie Guerrero versus Dirty Dom. That's a great one. That would be great. Dirty Dom versus his actual father, not Rey Mysterio. Back in 2005, Eddie said that he was his father. And
literally father versus son match.
That's the real father versus son match. I don't blame The Rock, who doesn't want to show up to work. Well, The Rock teased something to show up to work, and then he doesn't show up. That's the problem. Do you think they'll make a sequel to Ballerina? No, I don't think so. It was a very good movie, but it didn't make a whole lot of money, so I don't think they make a sequel. But I would still recommend watching it. Ana de Armas would be great in a Kill Bill Volume 3. Ana de Armas and Ballerina was very good. I agree with that. Scrap the trios titles. I agree with that, too. They're a fucking waste. And then Micah also asked, Mr. Marceau, would you ever take a bump? The answer for me would be no.
I mean, it's very...
Is there something on the line here?
I mean, why not? Yeah, why not?
I'll take a bump. I'm taking an RKO. Am I getting paid for this bump? Like, what bump are we talking about here? You know what I mean? Micah, you're speaking just complete lies. Not lies, but I'm offended. Mr. Marceau must be as well. Bro, better tell Rey Mysterio to pack it up. He needs to retire.
I mean, I'm the biggest Rey Mysterio fan, but I'm not.
Papa Marceau has said that, has he not, or is that someone else he said that?
I actually don't disagree with Micah. I mean, I think Rey's at this point. It's just time. I mean, it's sometimes you gotta take him out back. And
Old Yeller, baby.
I love Rey Mysterio, but he's gotta go. He's gotta go.
Wow, I still think he can go. So I disagree with that for now. I think in the next couple of years, but not now.
It's time.
It's time to take him out back and pull an Old Yeller on him. Do you want Private Party in WWE? John asked. No, I say yes to that because they could use more tag team. I know I just said they don't need more AEW people and vice versa, but I would make an exception for Private Party. No.
Does WWE count as NXT or?
Yeah, when I say WWE,
yeah, they can go to NXT for 4 years and then we'll see them.
Okay. Probably back in AEW after that. Micah said, "Who would you get rid of? Rock, Austin, Shawn, or Taker? What, from like history you're talking here? Probably Undertaker, to be honest."
I was gonna say Shawn.
Shawn? Are you serious? Would you actually get rid of Shawn Michaels?
Out of the 4 people you named, I probably would. Yeah.
One of the greatest wrestlers of all time, too. That's crazy.
Also, one of the notorious biggest pains in the asses of all time as well.
Save yourself a lot of backstage.
You get rid of Shawn, then Brett has this huge reign. Maybe Brett never leaves. I mean, the possibilities are endless.
Wow. Well, if there's no Undertaker streak, then I think the rest of history will still be fine. So,
yeah, but you got Kane's debut. I don't know.
Sure,
I feel like I would keep Rock, Austin, Taker
over Shawn.
Shawn.
Wow, interesting. Okay, interesting analysis. Curious what other people think of that as well. Non-wrestling related, John Wick or Kill Bill. Haven't seen Kill Bill, so it's John Wick for me, brother. Let's see. No, you're not getting paid for the bump, Micah? Then why the fuck would I want to take a bump then? I'll take a bump for the hell of it. I mean, I guess it depends by who and what the bump is, but if I'm not getting paid, that's a lot less incentive there. How do I feel about Christian and Nick Wayne going for the tag titles? I don't care. They have no division. Grunt said, so is the Saturday main event watch along a lock? Because I need that live Graham reaction when Goldberg wins. If there's a chance of Goldberg winning, I might have to watch live, but I feel like I might have to save the reaction for when I'm live with Mr. Marceau, so I can rant at that point. Yeah, David didn't like my answer. He said, bro did not just say Undertaker.
Undertaker was like synonymous with wrestling. I mean, I can't believe you said that. That's crazy.
I mean, we do agree. I would keep Rock and Austin.
No, Rock and Austin are clear as day the top two. I mean,
yeah,
the Stone Cold like the most I mean, Stone Cold and Rock easily. Undertaker, I would say third, and Shawn. Like, nothing in Shawn, but like I said, like he was also a pain in the ass for a while.
Yep.
And like his second return back to the company was amazing. And I don't think anyone could take that away from him. But like, I think more people could probably know who the Undertaker is than who. If you said who's the Undertaker, they'd probably say who he is. If they said who's Shawn Michaels, they'd probably be like, don't know who that is.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. I might still say goodbye to Mark Calloway because Shawn Michaels had a lot better matches, and I'm a mark for the matches, not so much the impact on history and the behind the scenes drama. But I see your rationale there. Hangman versus oh god,
that's just I saw that too.
That's a toughie. That's
next question.
Oh god, I would love there to be a John Wick 5. Well, you're in luck. There is going to be. They had a chance to unify one of the trios titles last year, but they didn't do it for some reason. Grunt said they should have been the Ring of Honor tag titles. At least the AEW titles get on TV semi-regularly. Yeah, they should have unified them. They didn't. I don't know why they didn't. They're just completely useless. How about $1 million to do a Texas death match against Darby Allin? For $1 million bucks, you could sign me up for anything.
A shoot or a work?
I
mean, $1 million. If I could get if someone gave me $1 million, I would easily fight. If it was like a legitimate fight, I'd do it.
Especially against Darby. I mean, we're not talking fucking. Yeah, no, for sure. I'd be down for it. $1 million bucks. Hey, sign me the fuck up. David agrees with you. Undertaker along with Cena and Ray are probably synonymous with wrestling.
No, Mike. Mike doesn't get rid of Rock.
Why would we get rid of Dwayne? Because we don't like Dwayne. Hey, listen, I'm a Dwayne hater.
Rock and Stone Cold are locks. I think Undertaker's a lock as well, but you're saying get rid of him. But I think Rock, and that's like saying like get rid of Hogan. Like, I mean, come on.
Come on. Well, I mean, that one makes a little bit more sense, to be honest.
But if you got rid of him, then like this would we wouldn't even be where we are today. So,
that is true. Yeah, and that's true.
Say no to him.
That's true. But with Rock, I mean, you're also not just accounting for his in-ring career. Like, if he doesn't become the star that he does in WWE, he never enters Hollywood. So we miss out on classics such as San Andreas, Rampage, Jumanji 1 through 7. I mean, come on. That's also something you have to take into account, too. So, yeah, to get rid of Rock, I mean, who are we getting here, Micah? Micah also said, Taker equals the streak. Austin literally saved WWE from going bankrupt. Shawn Michaels transitioned WWE from Hulk Hogan to the new era. But The Rock didn't do anything? Come on. Micah. The Rock is one of the biggest stars of all time outside of, like, period. We're going to get rid of The Rock. Don't forget the Tooth Fairy.
I said also if you get rid of Shawn, Brett would have done it. I mean.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's also saying, well, you can also make that argument for The Rock for The Rock too. Because he was also in the Attitude Era. Without The Rock, the Attitude Era still would have been successful. But I also would argue...
But he was Austin's like big opponent as well.
I was going to say, I mean, McMahon made Austin in the sense that he was his biggest rival, but Rock was his best in-ring rival. I mean, they also made each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not convinced. He said, no, The Rock did a lot, but I don't know. You can't. Can't get rid of The Rock. That's a good question, though. From Raw on Monday, before we get to Night of Champions predictions here, I'll actually ask this first since it is old news at this point, so I'll get your 2 cents. Liv Morgan out hurt. What does this mean for the Raw Women's Division, Mr. Marceau? Do you care? Do you not care? And who benefits in her absence, you think?
It's not that I don't care, but I mean, someone gets injured. I mean, someone has time to step up. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think it can be a blessing in disguise. I mean, hopefully, I would assume someone like Roxanne would fill the void, but I mean, it gives more people. Lyra, Bailey's back on TV. Stephanie's on TV. Can't find EO in the ring, but she's backstage. But no, I think, like it does suck. I love Liv. I think she's been great, but I think it's a perfect opportunity for someone else. Like I said, Roxanne specifically. I mean, she's in the group. It kind of would make sense. But I mean, someone's out. It's a lot of opportunity for someone else to step up. So yeah, I think it's a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, I know. I agree. I think it does suck because she was involved in a lot of the Evolution build, and for SummerSlam with the Judgment Day, it's been a big part of the show for a while now. They got to pivot. There's that word again. They got to pivot. Speaking of Evolution, there is almost no card. Like, they have built almost no matches for that show. The pay-per-view, by the way, is in 2 fucking weeks. The pay-per-view, There's a pay-per-view this weekend. How we're feeling on Evolution right now. I mean, I'm excited for it regardless. I'm glad they're doing it. But, I mean, this is a victim of doing too many shows at one time, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just depends on what comes out of Saturday. I think there's some certain directions you're going in. I mean, we got Rhea and Raquel. That's probably going to be blown off on Saturday. Mm-hmm. We'll find out who's going to SummerSlam. So, yeah, I mean, obviously rushing. I mean, who knows what's going to happen. Like I said, we haven't seen EO on She's been on TV, but we actually haven't seen her. But I mean, they did the little breadcrumb, her and Asuka maybe do that at Evolution, and then get her and Rhea at SummerSlam. But yeah, I mean, we're gonna rush into it, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we get Asuka and Io at SummerSlam. I would not rush into it at Evolution, but they're gonna have to rush into
again Rhea and Io at SummerSlam.
Oh, okay. I mean, they're gonna have to rush into a lot of shit because, like I said, the pay-per-view's in it's in 2 weeks, so you're gonna have to hurry the fuck up on that one. But yeah, no, I would agree with that. Night of Champions coming up this weekend, though, before we get into the actual predictions. I talked a lot about this on Tuesday, so there's really nothing for me to say. But the whole, cancellation thing, and obviously so much has happened since last weekend when the whole, bombing first happened. There's kind of a little bit more to say now, I suppose. They're clearly not canceling the show, as we know. The talent left yesterday. There was already crew there that got stuck at an airport in, Egypt or something because they shut down a lot of flights. This whole thing was serious enough to where they did that. The WWE people, I mean, they were never in any real danger, to go back to what we were saying earlier. They're fine on Saturday. To me, I think it's more of a peace of mind thing. I just kind of feel like if they were being forced to go, then that's pretty terrible. But we don't know if they were told, hey, if you don't feel comfortable, even in the last week, you don't have to be on the show. On the show, it was supposed to be Dominic and AJ for the IC title, and they took that match off. Dominic's hurt. I don't think he's actually hurt. So it might have been a case like that. So I don't know. And hopefully, just because you're not a top star and you're saying, hey, I don't want to be in the show, hopefully that doesn't lead to them getting heat like it would have during the Vince era. It's a different time now. But yeah, what's your take on that whole situation as far as kind of the negative reaction that WWE's gotten for going ahead with the show this weekend in Jeddah?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's not opportune time to go over there, but I mean, if they're going to Israel, I'd probably be like, yeah, it's probably not a great idea. I mean, they're going to Saudi. Obviously, it's in the region. I highly doubt Iran wants to get Saudi Arabia involved, because even if they, for God forbid, did something, there's obviously citizens there. And it's more than just us. And yeah, so I mean, obviously, like I said, peace of mind. Obviously, myself wouldn't want to be traveling in the Middle East right now. But I mean, unfortunately, there's a job, and that's the job. Maybe they'll get extra payoff. I don't really know. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I don't think anything will happen, but peace of mind. I understand people wanting to probably not go there.
Yeah, and that's also part of it too. Hopefully, peace of mind, having the choice to not go. But my other thing was hopefully they were informed, hey, if you're not comfortable going, but you're going anyway because you still want the Saudi paycheck or whatever, we appreciate that. We're gonna have extra security. We'll make sure you guys are fine. And the people in the building too, but also just the talent that might be I don't really want to go, but we'll do it anyway, whatever. Hopefully, I mean, again, I don't work there, so I have no idea what they've told the talent, if anything. We have no clue. Hopefully it comes out at some point. Hopefully it's not a Crown Jewel 2019 situation where they get stuck on the fucking tarmac and they can't leave. And, that was a different situation, but hopefully it all ends up okay. And, the timing is terrible coming off of what happened last weekend, so I can understand the skepticism there. And I would have said, and I still said they probably should have rescheduled it for a later date, but they don't see it that way. I don't think the Saudi government's given them the chance, oh yeah, we understand you guys are uncomfortable. Come back in a couple weeks. We'll just push this event back a couple weeks. Brother, I don't think they give a fuck. They don't care. They're yeah, you guys are still coming, right? What's the problem? We're fine.
Well, to them, it's why, I mean,
I understand that.
I was going to say they're not involved, so they don't really care.
Yeah, I know, but it's not that far. I mean, I'm not saying it's down the road, but it's closer than we are here in America. If they did a show here in America, you're fine, obviously. Anything can happen. But the chances of something happening here at an event like that are probably slim to none. But they're a little bit closer to the conflict now that they're going over to Saudi. So I can understand why they'd be I don't want to be fucking over there. Or their families and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but I don't know. I guess, it's no different than any other sport, I guess, traveling. I mean, there's always risks, I guess. But I mean,
yeah,
I know it's in that region specifically, but it's not like they're going to somewhere there's the actual region's conflicted. It's in the area.
Oh yeah, no, if that was the case, obviously, then definitely they're
going to fucking Iraq during war, and people didn't care. But they're going to a country that's in the same region. They were in Iraq. They were fighting Iraq at the time.
True, correct. But they went to Iraq for that reason. That's what I'm saying.
Understand. But still, there's a war going on.
But they were like, all right, we're gonna go there. They didn't have like a show in Iraq and then like the war broke out with like 9/11 and everything. That's like if they went like they were scheduling tribute to the troops in 01 and then that shit happened. I'd be like, absolutely
fucking. It doesn't matter. There's still something could have happened. They were in Iraq.
They did, and there were people going back to what I said before. I agree, but there were also people at that point that were like, brother, I'm not going. I really don't feel comfortable going over to Iraq. We're in the middle of a war right now. No thanks. And they got hate for it. Like I think Rob Van Dam was depushed for it. You know, the whole Ashley Massaro thing is well documented. Unfortunately, and everything else that happened over there. I'm just saying, hopefully in this regime, they're not like, you got to go. Yeah. You got to make your towns, brother. You know what I mean? Got to make Saudi.
Got to make your dates, brother.
Got to make your dates, brother. This is a funny show, though, bro, because SmackDown the night before, tomorrow night, is more of the Night of Champions than the pay-per-view itself. It's just called Night of Champions, a pay-per-view that once upon a time had every match was a title match. There's 2 fucking title matches on this show.
Like that.
Of 6 matches, which is just, it's comical. It's comical. But anyway, on the show, they announced it earlier. You mentioned it a moment ago. Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez are having a street fight. I would love to know the rationale behind why we're getting this match. I mean, I've seen what we've been getting on TV. I get that. But we've seen this match a million times. They did this match on a fucking street fight like 6 months ago on Raw.
And cost her fucking queen of the ring.
I know they cost each other. I don't understand why they're doing this feud, I guess, is my point. Like, why are we going back to this? Rhea's obviously going to win, as she should. I feel like it's just to get Rhea and Raquel on the show. I don't know.
Okay, Raquel wins. Or Rhea wins. Move on.
Yeah, Rhea wins, LOL, but, like, I don't know. You have enough women on this roster where I feel like you can utilize her in something more important. And I don't think she was going to face Liv. It's not like, oh, we got to pivot. Like, I mean, I
think they just keep, like I said, I think she's going to face you at SummerSlam, so they're just kind of keeping her busy for now.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, I guess it's better than, I was going to say I would love a Rhea-Roxanne feud, but the issue with that is that Roxanne's probably losing right now, so maybe not. Exactly. Yeah, so maybe I'm okay with that. So you got Raquel Rodriguez winning, right?
No, Rhea's winning.
No, I know. I was just trying to trip you up. 2 R, double R's. I was trying to mess you up there. Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross, they also announced on Monday. They're finally doing this match.
Talking about a waste of time.
I need to hear your thoughts on, I need to hear you elaborate on that. They've been building this for a long time. And Karrion Kross has built up a lot of groundswell of support. Now, I don't know if it's going to carry over to Saudi with that crowd over there. But he's been getting good reactions on main event and stuff that they've been putting online and shit, which I know isn't a great indicator. It's main event, I understand. But I'm glad they're doing this match. It gets Karrion Kross in a PLE for the first time in over a year, his first singles match in a PLE since Saudi Crown Jewel in 2022, almost 3 years ago when he faced Drew. I don't know how good the match is going to be, but I'm glad they're giving him a chance. For as over as he is organically and how he's gotten himself over, if he can't back it up in the ring and people don't care about his matches, then that's on him. But I'm glad they're even giving him this chance. But I'd also love to hear you elaborate as to why you think this is a waste of time.
Because Sammy's going to beat him in 5 minutes. Then I'm going to listen to the people on Twitter cry and complain that he lost.
So what would you do? Have Karrion Kross go over?
They're not really booking him. So, like, I don't know. Like, he's, like, on these, like, little backstage segments, like, whispering in Sammy's ear. It's, like, a minute every week. And if you fucking farted and walked away from the TV for 30 seconds, you'd miss it. So...
yeah.
I mean, I think Sammy wins, we move on, and you don't see Karrion Kross, and people complain. I mean, that's what we're getting here.
That is how it's going to play out. I do think Sami Zayn wins. I agree with that. I'm just saying, what would you want to see? Like, Karrion Kross's contract comes up in a couple of months later this year or whatever. Like, do you think this is just using him to get over Sammy on the way out? Like they did with Braun. Like, they knew they were probably going to get rid of Braun, so they used him to get over Jacob Fatu, and then they cut him. Like, do you think that's the case here with Sammy and Karrion, where Sammy beats Karrion and then we just move on just to get Sammy over even more?
I don't think I at this point I regardless of the outcry and people wanting to see Karrion Kross finally be pushed, which if he finally got pushed, people complain that he's getting pushed regardless. At this point I don't see them pushing him. I don't see them re-signing him. Sammy beats him and we move on.
All right. Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa for the United States Championship. And I also agree with you, by the way. I don't think they re-signed Karrion Kross. I hate to say that. I don't think that's dumb to me, but I don't think they re-sign him. But anyway, for the U.S. title, Fatu Sikoa. New champ here, or does Fatu retain? And there's been a lot of rumblings and, with JC Mateo and Jimmy Uso also kind of aligning with Jacob Fatu. I thought Fatu was going to retain, but I think Solo might take the title here to set up Solo and Damian Priest, who also wants the championship. Maybe it's SummerSlam. This could go either way, but I think I might go lean Solo here. What are you thinking?
I mean, Solo versus Damian Priest sounds awful, but
I'd just be surprised if Fatu beat him and then they just move on without doing Fatu and Mateo.
Yeah, I'll just put the belt on Solo, but Solo versus Damian Priest sounds even worse. So, yep, Solo wins.
Well, if you can get the belt on Priest, I'd be okay with that. I'd be cool with that.
Sure.
Solo needs to be a transitional champion. And maybe they can free up Fatu to get elevated if he loses the championship here, right? Optimistically thinking here?
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah, hopefully, ideally. Now we get to the King and Queen of the Ring finals here.
These might be the easiest predictable matches of all time, but you can keep going.
They absolutely are. Asuka and Jade Cargill. Well, actually, you know what? I disagree. Well, I agree, but I disagree. I'm going Asuka. I'm going to go Asuka. Laugh at me.
You must be snoring the crack cocaine from earlier that Johnny was. Jade wins LOL all fucking day long.
Okay. You're gonna call me crazy, but when Asuka wins.
Hey, I'll grab a hat. I'll eat it next week if Asuka wins, but it's Jade's winning.
I want to text on Saturday. I know you're not watching live, but I want to text on Saturday if Asuka wins. I'll text you if Jade wins, but.
Right. No, Jade's gonna win easily.
I got Asuka winning. I'm not saying I'm like determined about that she's going to win. I just think, there's a chance. There's a good chance. It's something to consider. But got to ask about this though. You agreed with what I said on Monday when I was watching Raw. The Roxanne Jade match was no good, dude. It was no good. But I'm not going to sit here and shit on Jade because she's had some good matches as well. So I think this match could. Well, I know you're skeptical. I think this match could be good. She's had some not so great matches. Where do you stand on Jade Cargill on June 26, 2025? Is she worth the investment, or do you think it's like she's cooked, like this is not worth it?
It's a great question. I'm to me, I'm kind of off the train at this point.
Okay.
I mean, it's been almost 2 years at this point. It's like we really haven't got any progression realistically. Most of her stuff's been in tag team stuff. Yeah. I mean, we had the match on Monday. It wasn't good. Yes, the match at WrestleMania was better, but I think that's a lot of rehearsal. And yeah, they have some chemistry, obviously, with her and Bianca and Naomi. I mean, if you can't have a good match with Roxanne, I mean, she's probably one of the better in ring. You're probably gonna have a tough time facing other people. I just maybe, like I said, there is a big height ratio. Maybe that's a little off there. Trying to make excuses for Jade at this point, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I just think, like I said, I just think Jade wins this match. She beats Asuka. She faces Tiffany for the belt. Maybe she wins. We get a Naomi cash in, but I'm out on Jade at this point. I feel like she's a great look. Mm-hmm. But in ring wise, she's not that good. Her promos have never really been that good either.
Yeah. I think a manager would help with that.
Less talented. Literally, she's like a less talented Bianca Belair, if you ask me.
Yeah, I can understand that. I mean, Bianca excels in everything.
I don't know. I haven't really been watching a lot of SmackDown. I haven't seen Bianca in forever. So has she been around? She wasn't even in the tournament.
No, she was still. She got hurt at Mania. I think she's still recovering. She broke her wrist or something, or her hand or whatever.
Okay. Yeah, I think Jade's decent, but. I mean, I just feel like they thought maybe she'd progress, but I feel like if anything, she's probably regressed than progress.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm willing to give it more time. I sound like a mark, but I'm willing to give it more time. I think Jade is not great, but like I said on Monday when we were talking about it, I feel like she excels enough in the other areas, specifically like the look and the aura. Like sometimes that
could be great in Hollywood. She has a great look. Okay, bring it to Hollywood.
The aura alone might be able to carry her because her in-ring, I think, she's had good matches. She's had some, like this was not good. That was a stinker on Monday. And Roxanne is one of the best in the company. So I mean, what does that tell you? And it's not Roxanne's fault. Let's put it that way. This is another match though. If she goes in there and has a subpar match with Asuka, one of the best women's wrestlers ever, but especially in the entire world currently, then I might have a different opinion come next week. especially if Jade wins the crown, which she's not because Asuka's going to win, so it's fine. But interesting analysis, though. I'm willing to give it more time. We can revisit that in like 6 months, and if she has a title reign and it stinks, then I might have to say, all right, Mr. Marceau, per usual, you were right. I was wrong, you were right. I was stupid, you're smart. I'm unattractive, you're very good looking. All right, Happy, that's enough.
He knows.
If you know, you know. Randy and Cody, Orton wins, LOL.
I mean, come on. Cody winning is just such a slam dunk. It's kind of insulting my intelligence. I just think, honestly, I love Jey Uso, and I don't think he probably should have won on Raw, but, like, the fact we're getting Cody and Randy, like, their first match in a tournament that we know that Cody's winning, I mean, kind of shitty booking if you ask me, but I think it'll be a good match, but Cody wins.
Okay. Yeah, I think so, too. Do you think this could be the catalyst for an Orton heel turn at some point? To feud with Cody?
I get one because he beat him in a match. I
think he was going to turn on him anyway eventually, but he's also mega over, so it might be hard to turn him.
Yeah, no. I mean, I think it should be a good match, but Cody wins LOL.
Yeah, I agree. Now, last but not least, John Cena, CM Punk. Punk's doing what he said. He never said he would never go to Saudi, but, pull up that tweet that he tweeted about The Miz a few years ago. It's very funny, and that's kind of what this feud is built on. Undisputed WWE Championship. Cena wins, literally, LOL. But I want your prediction, but also just your analysis of like the feud, which I think has been fun. Easily Cena's best work since turning heel, which isn't saying a whole lot because the bar's pretty fucking low. And also the Cena pipe bomb promo, as they called it, on Friday's SmackDown. So I just want to get your thoughts on all of that in addition to the prediction for Saturday.
No, it's definitely been his best work, but that's not saying much.
Yeah.
His heel run's been terrible. So his like little pipe bomb, it was like, I thought people overreacted. I thought it was decent, but like wasn't the greatest thing of all time. But yeah, Cena wins LOL. I think it's been a good feud, but I don't see Cena losing here in Riyadh.
Does Ron Killings get involved, or is it Cena's going to cheat, we know that, but does Ron Killings get involved, inadvertently cost Punk the win or something? Some bullshit.
Could be. There's going to be shenanigans. There's going to be plenty of them.
Yeah.
So, but Cena wins. I bet you there's plenty of interference, or he grabs the belt again and hits him and all that stupidness. But yeah, Cena wins.
Yeah, I agree. Cena wins. LOL. All right, let me see what the other people are saying here before we wind down. Give me 1 second. What is the chat up to now? Daniel saying I got to be trolling for choosing Asuka. Everyone's calling me crazy here, but guess what? I'm going to be a fucking genius if she ends up winning this weekend. Let me see. I got to scroll up. You guys have been talking quite a bit. Without Rock, Austin, one of his second biggest rival next to Mr. McMahon, rather. I agree with that, David. Rock versus Austin is the best feud ever, in my opinion. Well, it's certainly up. It's certainly one of them. Micah said exactly. Rock only had like a 6-year career, and then he left. 2 years were Nation of Domination, and the rest was the People's Champ. Alexis saying Benoit versus the lap pull-down machine. We're just terrible people here. We are just fucking awful. Nancy versus a rug. This is just awful. Mere days removed from the anniversary, nonetheless, of the incident. How about Stone Cold versus Joe Hendry in TNA? That would be the definition of a waste, Johnny. And I love Joe Hendry, but that would be a waste. Evolution is in 2 weeks, ? Micah said. Do we see AJ Lee make a surprise appearance? I don't think she does. Would love to see it. I'd pop big. I don't expect it, but that would be sick. Did y'all see Brain's return yesterday? I don't know who you're referring to there, Eric. Does the name Mr. Marceau Brains mean anything to you? Is that a UFC thing or no? Bray and then NS? I don't know. I don't think it's an AEW thing. I don't know what they're talking about.
No idea.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. Probably mistyped that, my friend. David said, I can't blame WWE. Aren't they blinded by a contract from the literal Saudi government? Or binded? Yeah, probably binded is what you meant.
Binded.
Yeah, by a contract from the literal Saudi government to hold events. They are, but the government could have said, hey, if you don't feel comfortable coming over, then we can reschedule this, but they're not going to fucking do that, so. Micah said, I don't want them going to Saudi, but I do believe Talon and crew will be safe. Literally, they just need to get in and get out. Lucky for them, the contract ends in 2028 with Saudi. Hopefully TKO will not renew. Well, guess what? They're fucking renewing. I gotta guess what, Mr. Marceau.
And they're paying $50-60 million in an event. You're renewing, and even regardless, any business would. That's just. You have to, unfortunately.
If you think,
why do you think all those soccer players when they go play in the Saudi league because they're getting paid fucking 100, 200% what their face value million? Like Ronaldo went over to play for like 3 years, got $1 billion. Like that is just like ridiculous money.
Yeah.
You would like.
They're
going to resign.
Yeah.
It's crazy. They'll never make even close to that money in the United States.
If you think that they're not going to resign, I have a bridge to sell you, my friend. That is not going to happen. But we can revisit that in 2028. And especially with TKO just loving money as much as they do. According to Fightful, WWE pressures talent pretty hard to go to Saudi. Do they still do that now, or is that still a thing? Like, I don't know. I mean, that doesn't surprise me at all if it's true, but I don't know. If Saudi wants to see some WWE, tell them to come to the States. Well, I mean, listen, it has nothing to do with the people of Saudi, Mike. It's more of like the issues over there with. What'd you say?
Yeah, it's not like people from Saudi Arabia like, hey, come visit the United States if you want to come sit down to me. Like,
come on, that's not really fair. I mean, it's great that the Saudi fans get WWE there twice a year. It's not their fault. I'm talking about like some of the moral issues, politics stuff that's going on over there.
It's all political stuff.
Yeah, it's all political shit. But the fans shouldn't have to suffer for that sort of stuff. Also, Saudi, like Mr. Marceau said, Saudi is paying $50 to $60 million for the show. TKO is not canceling; they're in debt. LOL. Well, WWE's not. Oh yeah, TKO. But I mean, who knows? They'll probably be in debt regardless. But anyway, Micah said, asking both of us, how do you feel about the show being called Night of Champions, but only having 2 title matches on the card? Well, I already talked about that.
It.
You
I
like him,
it.
Mr. Marceau's a fan. It's ironic, right? I mean, it's a funny, Net of 2
it's like when they used to have Extreme Rules and like one match be Extreme Rules. Like it's not actually stupid. It's like Hell in a Cell. It's called Hell in a Cell. There's 2 Hell in a Cell matches. Stupid.
Do you want the whole card to be Hell in a Cell matches, or it's just the
idea?
idea?
No, it's called just don't do it. That's why it shouldn't be called. It should just be called King and Queen of the Ring.
Yeah, that's the worst part. They literally a year ago called it King and Queen of the Ring. Why change it? That doesn't make sense to me. I feel honestly like Kyrian might be squashed as a punishment by Triple H. I wouldn't put it past him, honestly. You don't think that would happen?
Good.
I think that's a very big possibility. When you say squashed,
I hope he goes to smooch Scarlett on the lips and gets hit with a haluva kick 1, 2, 3. The place would go crazy.
WrestleMania.
They can't show public affection, so it'd be amazing.
Yeah, no, that's true. WrestleMania. It'd be Sheamus and Bryan all over again from WrestleMania 28. That's what it sounds like. I think Roxanne helps Raquel win, Fernando said. Absolutely fucking not. If you think, again...
I hope Roxanne ain't there, honestly. I hope she's staying in the States.
I agree.
She needs to wear a new hold, I heard, so she needs to stay.
If you think Raquel's beating Rhea, I have another bridge I can sell you. I don't think that happens. Jacob wins it. It's too soon to take the title from him. It is too soon, but I think they love
It's too soon, but if he's going to bigger and better things, I'm fine with that.
Maybe they can put the belt in the Prom Prince. Jimmy Uso. Prom Prince, come on.
He was a Prom Prince. He was.
He was. He's never going to win any singles championships. He's not going to win the IC, US World title, WWE title, but he did win the title of Prom Prince. That's all that matters, right?
He was Prom Prince. Most likely to succeed, too.
There you go. Meanwhile, he flounders on SmackDown. Yeah, they're making fun of me for saying Asuka. Well, guess what? I'm going to be a fucking genius if she wins this weekend. She probably won't, and I'll have egg on my face next week, but I'm sticking with Asuka. I think we get Naomi and Jade Cargill at SummerSlam with the championship. I also think Asuka loses.
Well, no, it's going to be Tiffany and Jade, and then she'll cash in.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well as far as that goes. Queen Asuka and Io at SummerSlam, book it. That's what I'm saying, Maria. But I think that probably happens, like RJ said, at Evolution, and they rush through it, and the match is over, and then they have Rhea, take the title from Io at SummerSlam. So, hey, guess what?
I would hate that. I hate that to a passion, but that's what's going to happen. I already know it's going to.
The easier we accept it, the quicker we accept it and just come to terms with it, the easier
guys just got to accept it. It's a lot easier, and you know it.
Rip off the Band-Aid, you know what I mean? Rip off the Band-Aid.
Like, I love Io, and she hasn't been on TV in fucking months. She's just standing backstage with her title.
What do you mean? She's telling Nikki Bella that she was her inspiration.
She's the fucking champion. It should be the other way around, buddy.
No, I get it. What if Cody wins and probably loses to Cena at SummerSlam? Nathaniel. No.
Nathaniel must be on that cocaine we were talking about earlier.
Not Johnny was on. Yeah. What, so we can do a third match? Absolutely fucking not.
No, thank you.
Jade versus Stratton. Bianca returns midway through the match to support Jade. Jade wins the belt. Naomi comes out to cash in. Bianca helps her to pin Jade, turning heel and joining up with Naomi. I like that. Adding on to what you said earlier. I like it. You hate it.
I don't hate it, I said.
Oh, I don't. Okay, I thought you said you hated it.
Gets the belt off Jade, I love it.
Gets the belt off Jade. Naomi gets a title run, and Bianca's a heel. Triple win to me. I like that. Zach, what's going on, my friend? Thanks for joining. Micah said Orton hasn't won a pay-per-view match since he came back. Do we think Joe Hendry... What about Joe Hendry? Cody will win, double turn at... What the fuck are you talking about, Joe Hendry? That was very weird. Cody will win, double turn at SummerSlam, and he joins The Rock. Brother, that would be terrible. Absolutely not. You turn Cena back babyface, but Cody goes the old bro. That would be fucking terrible. I'm sorry. That would be absolute ass cheeks. Oh, yeah, I'm going to turn heel in 3 years. Turns heel in 3 months. Absolutely not. I said the other day, but Punk looked so goofy just laying there during the promo. Daniel, it was fucking
it was
stupid.
pretty dumb.
Yeah, that was very dumb. It was different from the original pipe bomb because at least he was in the ring and Punk was on the stage. They were just right next to each other, and he wasn't even like Punk. Cena was conscious when that original pipe bomb happened. Punk was just like he's pulling that Jade Cargill bullshit.
It looked dumb. It looked really dumb.
Like very stupid. Punk wins the title from Cena, then Seth Rollins cashes in on Punk. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't hate that. I just don't see that happening. I don't think they put the belt on Cena without Cody taking the belt back from him. I think that's always been the end.
I agree.
Asuka Io, what Evolution 2 Noob says, will be a throwaway match and then a waste of Asuka's return. Well, I mean, probably what's happening. I wanted that SummerSlam too.
Another notch on Io's belt. Move on, Asuka. It's time. Q4, I think, for Asuka.
That's terrible. Q3 for Theory and Waller. Q4 for Asuka, you're saying?
Q4 for Asuka. I could get the budget real good looking for 2026, honestly. She's probably getting good coin.
She probably is. She's probably getting paid a lot of money. Going to get the Braun Strowman treatment. Grunt said, I feel like Tony needs to beat Mercedes at All In. Otherwise, we're going to run into the Roman problem of people going, oh, well, she can't lose this match. It's not big enough. Yeah.
Come on, the fabulous Moolah's not... Monet ain't losing.
I like Mercedes Moolah a little bit more.
Titles come out of her ass. I mean, come on.
Mercedes Moolah is probably not losing. She could lose the TBS title next week, but it would be weird if she lost her first match a week before their biggest pay-per-view. Like, I would be cool with Mina winning. I just don't see that happening.
The fabulous Monet ain't losing. I mean, come on.
Mercedes Moolah.
She'll have eight titles, and then I mean, she's
got to add a ninth. Yeah, no, she ain't fucking losing. Grunt said, apologies to RJ for all the AEW talk. What do you mean? RJ's the biggest AEW fan there is. Come on.
I haven't missed a Dynamite since the first one.
Oh, God. You missed the Benoit jokes when you were gone for like 30 seconds?
No, I don't like... Yeah, I saw them. I just let them fly by. I see some...
Alexis bringing up the Nancy versus a rug. I mean, come on. That's awful. That's terrible. That's so bad.
That's messed up.
Funny, but it's bad.
It's funny, but it's still a fresh wound.
We don't. So 20 years later, it's still a fresh wound. Hey, Pearl Harbor, Titanic, still fresh. It's too soon.
Titanic's still fresh to me.
We're classy people here, all right? We don't make jokes like that on the stream. Micah said, after Punk and Cena wrestle for the last time, can you rank all their matches from worst to best? That's a good idea. I like that idea. What about Fatu versus Cena? Tyreek, first of all, what's going on, my man? Love Ziggler for life. That's actually a question. He a couple weeks ago he was here. He said, RJ, hold up. What did he say? He said, hear me out, bro. And then I never heard him out because he never said anything after that. But I'm glad he's here with a logical question. He said, what about Fatu versus Cena? I'd be cool with that. Fatu destroying Cena for sure. But I don't think it happens, though, right?
I think we should do Solo versus Cena again.
Oh, God, no. And then Solo wins again?
Yep.
Theory also faces Cena again and beats him for a second time and also doesn't benefit.
There you go.
Let's see as we wind down here. Are you looking forward to Spaceballs 2? Fernando asked. I have not seen the first one, so I would need to watch that before watching the second, but it is cool that Rick Moranis is coming out of retirement. Looking forward to that. Stone Cold versus Love Ziggler needs to happen. Fernando, that would make too much money, so we can't be doing that. But in a dream match scenario, that would be fun. Stop with the Chris jokes, bro. Not funny. It's all horrible. Let's make a joke about Mick Foley or something. Hey, Micah doesn't like it, so Mike's not enjoying it. Make a joke about the people on the Poop Cruise. Poop Cruise? The documentaries on Netflix, not the stuff from 07. Come on, horrible. What'd you say?
It's on Netflix.
There's a Poop Cruise? What the fuck is a Poop Cruise?
It's like a cruise that like something went wrong, yeah.
Damn, I haven't seen that one. I know they're doing a documentary on Netflix about the fucking thing from 2 years ago. What's that thing called? The submarine?
I saw it. It was hilarious.
You watched the doc? They already came out with it?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen it. I have to watch it.
They basically were like, anyone that had anything to do with it was like, yeah, this is not a good idea, and they still went on to do it.
What do you mean? Hooking up a GameCube controller or a PS2 controller to the submarine wasn't a good idea, you're telling me? Who could have seen that one coming, right?
Couldn't.
Terrible. Nathaniel said, I have Jade winning because we might see Naomi versus Jade at SummerSlam for the championship. Yeah,
I think people keep saying Naomi versus Jade. Tiffany's the champion.
Well, Naomi could cash in before then.
You think she's gonna? I don't think she will. I think you'd wait. I think you do Tiffany versus Jade. Jade wins, and then Naomi cashes in on her at SummerSlam.
Yeah, and I could see that being predictable, but I also think at the same time, like, you know, it's predictable, but it's probably the way to go. I want to see it playing out the way, especially with the Bianca stuff. I feel like that'd be cool. Yeah, I mean, they've also teased Jade and Tiffany too. So how do you tease that match and then they don't do Jade and Tiffany for the title? So I agree. Thor 5 is in production, Fernando said. Oh, God. Is that true? Because that sounds fucking terrible. No, thanks. The fourth one was okay at best. But all right, folks, thanks so much for tuning in. Much appreciated. Like I said earlier, new episodes of WrestleRant Radio every single Thursday on WrestleRant.com, WrestleRantRadio.com, and all major podcast platforms for the audio version that goes up later on in the day, so check it out. Shout out once more to our channel members, Alexis, Miss Maud Matthews, Dillon, DiGiacomo, Mrs. Renee, DJ Swerve 1, Daniel Malcolm, Mr. Marceau himself, at RJ_Marceau on the Twitter machine, John Ritland here on YouTube, Real Honesty with John Ritland, Richie, Red Planet Wrestling here on YouTube, and Average Grunt on the Twitter machine at The Average Grunt on X. More information on that down below in the description box for all access pass information, $5 a month. And you can also just like this video, subscribe, and click the notification bell to be notified every single time we go live, including on Thursdays for myself and Mr. Marceau, breaking down stuff like this. So next week we'll probably be talking Night of Champions. Hopefully they can make it out of there in, safe sound, all in one piece, and we can talk about the show as if nothing happened with this whole crisis thing. Per normal, next week here on the show. Grunt said if it wasn't a licensed controller, I'm pretty sure it was some third-party knockoff. Yeah, I'm sure it was. I gotta catch this fucking. I gotta catch this documentary. And thank you, Grunt, for joining us. He said thanks for the chat. Bye, everyone. Alexis said, Tyreek, I see you. Yeah, Tyreek did pop in. What's the plan for the rest of the day? Just doing work, my friend. It's just a normal fucking day. Nothing new. He usually asks me what I'm seeing for $5 Tuesday, but it's Thursday. I want to see Elio. We were talking about that before. You want to see Elio? You might go see it by yourself. The missus would be pissed. So probably not. But when you see it, let me know. We can discuss here on the show. But in the meantime, go see Lilo and Stitch. Again, because guess what? Lilo and Stitch 2 is happening, baby. We said this, I prayed for it, and it happened. Alexis, cry your fucking eyes out. We need more live-action sequels for stuff like this, because guess what? I'm on Team Ruben, and all that matters is that Mr. Marceau is on Team Ruben. We can disagree about Jade and Asuka all day long. One thing we can't agree on, Ruben is coming into live action. And
Ruben's coming back.
I already bought my tickets. I'll be seeing it at the theater right near you, Mr. Marceau. We'll be seeing that one together. Any Book it, pal. Book it. Any parting words for the chat as we wind off into the sunset here?
I got nothing.
Nothing. He's a man of no words. Man of many words, but very few words sometimes as well. Grunt, everyone, Fernando, Micah, Alexis, everyone from earlier as well, Tyreek for the quick run, and Maria. Thanks so much for tuning in. Much appreciated. Micah said, I heard Elio was garbage going to Tuesday. Come on. I heard it was garbage, but I also heard it was good too, so I've heard mixed things. Jurassic World Rebirth is probably going to be garbage, but I'm going to go see that on a Tuesday as well. You can bet your fucking, bet your ass on that one. Nonetheless, folks, thanks so much for tuning in as always. I'm Graham GSM Matthews from Mr. Marceau. We'll catch your ass next week. Have an awesome week, folks. Take care.
Join Graham GSM Matthews and RJ Marceau every Thursday as they run down their weekly wrestling rants, offer expert analysis, host exclusive interviews, and more. Subscribe today on all your favorite podcast platforms and never miss an episode of WrestleRant Radio.